Ready? All right. Any questions?
Rhett, can you talk about what you're going to be looking for out of your guys at the scrimmage Saturday?
Yeah. I'd say the number one thing that as a coaching staff we're looking for tomorrow is attention to detail and discipline. Kind of the same thing. You know, here we are now 6 days in, and we're still way too inconsistent. You know, you see flashes when that's the good thing, of things that are good, but we got to have attention to detail on all the little things as far as alignments and executions and all those things. Because on offense, it takes all 11. You can have 9 or 10 guys doing exactly what they're supposed to do, and one guy isn't focused and doesn't line up right, or doesn't know what his assignment is, or doesn't execute properly. It messes the whole thing up. So attention to detail is big. The second thing, just as important, is mental toughness. I'm not real sure. As a matter of fact, I know we're not where we need to be mentally tough right now. Now, don't get me wrong; their attitudes are great. They're giving us, what they think is all they got, and they're hanging on every word their coaches are saying. They're trying to do what we ask them to do, but we got to learn to push ourselves beyond what we think we can. And so mentally, I'd like to see us get a little tougher tomorrow too.
Have you seen flashes of promise from them?
You see flashes from a lot of people. Some guys that are standing out, and really probably the reason they're standing out is not one play here or there; it's consistency. I think Jalen Denson's been extremely consistent for us. I think CJ has been really, really consistent for us. Reese Dismukes has been not only consistent but vocal as a leader. Been proud of that from him. Those are some guys that just stand out right away that I like their consistency, not only of their attitudes, but really their execution and producing. And so we got other guys that are flashing and making some great plays here or there, but then, for every great play, you got 2 or 3 busts that really kill us, and we got to eliminate that. And that'll come with time and reps, but we need to get there sooner than later.
Have either the quarterbacks started to distinguish themselves from the other?
I don't think so. I think, I know I'm going to keep using the word because I feel that way about the whole thing, inconsistent. We're very inconsistent with our accuracy. We're not at a quarterback, neither one of them are processing the information fast enough. And that, 6 practices in, that's probably to be expected. We're putting something new in every day. It's a new system. There's still a lot of thinking going on, not as much reacting. They know what to do. I'm seeing them go to the right place with the football or do the right thing, but it's maybe a step behind where we need to be. And you can't be late on things. So I need them to process the information faster, read the coverage quicker, see what they're giving us, know where to go with the football, all those things. We just got to speed up our processing and our reaction has got to come a lot faster than it is right now to play at that position at a high level. But we are getting better. They're throwing the ball better day 6 than they were day 1. Like I said, they know what to do usually. It's just usually now more either the execution of it or just we got to get to it quicker.
When you look across the line, how do you think the defense is reacting to the speed of the game?
I think they're doing fine. I think Coach Johnson's got that crew. They're bouncing around. It's good for both of us. I think we got good tempo to practice, and offensively, when our guys line up and know what they're doing, we've got decent tempo. But we've got too many times where we'll have 2 or 3 plays in a row where we're bouncing around, and then somebody has a brain lapse, and it kills the momentum of everything. Defensively, they've been right with us the whole way.
Jalen Denson has played, I think, in all but 1 game in the last 2 years and has only caught 1 pass. Do you see him as a guy that could be a big factor in catching the ball in the passing game?
Very well could be. Very well could be. He's like I said, he's been steady. He's been a guy that right now, if you said who I know I can count on, I know I can count on him 6 days in. And so we're moving him around a little bit, putting him in a few different spots. He's smart enough, he can handle it, and he's making plays. But he's not only making plays with the ball, he's doing what he's supposed to do when he's not getting the ball. And, we've had a guy, I think the first year we got here, we had a guy who had 2 or 3 career catches and had 60 the next year. So, we're going to put the guys out there we know we can count on, that they'll be where that quarterback needs them to be, and we'll go from there. But, yeah, I definitely see his role increasing.
Have you found exactly where he fits with it, being the slot? There's some working on the outside a lot today.
He can do both. He can do both. We know he can work the slot. That's where we had him early on in camp. We started moving him outside today, and he's picking that up just fine. So we're going to put him where it helps the team best. And right now, he's a guy that can do both. And so he'll continue to kind of work at both spots, and we'll see how everyone else comes along. And what we're always going to try to do is put our best 11 on the field. And right now, he'd be one of those guys.
As a coach, you mentioned that 6 practices in, maybe not the whole big picture of things, but are you frustrated that the quarterbacks aren't there at this point? Do you just use patience? How do you go about it?
Yeah, no, you got to be patient, but at the same time, I got to push them, and I got to get them to have the urgency to we got our learning curve's got to go and got to keep increasing, and we got to not only keep improving every day, but we got to start to now day 6, 7. Okay, now this last half of spring ball, we got to improve at a quicker pace. Now it's kind of in. Okay, you got your feet wet. Now you know the expectations. Now we got to really start to see those returns a little bit, and I think we will. I mean, both guys their attitudes are great. They're trying to do everything they can, the best of their ability, trying to lead their guys, but it's tough when you got a lot going on, a lot of things moving fast, and you got to be on every little detail, and then you got to also process that information quickly. And so not frustrated at all, just determined to get them where we need to be at the end of day 15.
Could you talk about the running backs and kind of where you stand with them?
Yeah, all 3 guys that are rotating out there are doing a good job. They all bring a little different skill set to the table. You've got Corey and Trey have been here for a while and played more. Of course, Cameron's not a young guy. He played junior college. And, at our running back spot, it's like everything else. There's a lot of little details within every play, and that's the same thing. Their alignment and all these things, they matter. And so we just got to process those things quicker. Because like I said, I went back to it like the other day. We got to play fast, tempo-wise and speed. We got to be able to process the information fast enough to react and play smart too at that speed.
Notice that Alex Gozan was back at left guard a little bit today. So you going to be focusing on guard? Is he going to still kind of keep his focus on center? What's the plan?
Yeah, we're trying him out there to see if we've seen some flashes in the last few days of some things we like when he's been playing some guard and some center. We got a bunch of those guys on the internal spots, center and guard, are moving a lot, and that's good. I mean, that's normal, but now let's see what he can do at guard. We've seen him do some nice things, and so hopefully he can tomorrow have a really good scrimmage now at guard.
Since the pads came on, how's Jordan Ivan done with that physicality? I know last week we were talking a little bit about that.
Mm-hmm. He's done well. What Jordan and all those guys, I think if you ask JB, he'd say the same thing. Fundamentals have really got to improve, because up there it's all about their footwork and their steps. I mean, they're going against a guy that's a monster too, just because he's a big physical guy. And so I think once he learns to play with his pads down and get the footwork exactly where Coach Grimes wants it, he's like all the rest of them, he'll do well. And he's making improvements every day. But, I would like to see as an offense, not just him, all of us be more physical tomorrow than we have been so far in camp.
How important has it been to see Reese step up and kind of take on a little bit of that leadership role?
It's been great. It's been great, but he should. I mean, he's a junior. He's played for 2 years. So he's one of those guys that you would expect that from. We need him to be that guy on and off the field and be a great example for all the young guys. And so far, he's done a nice job of that.
Last year, the run game struggled in 3rd and short and red zone situations. Who's been taking snaps on those type of situations this spring?
Well, we just put in some of that shorter, for us anyway, short yardage type of scenarios today, some of those sets, so we'll have those for our scrimmage tomorrow. So, right now I don't know. We're going to give all those guys a chance till we can see who's maybe the better short yardage guy, if that's what you're asking, who's maybe not. A guy like Cameron Artis-Payne's a pretty big guy, so you would think he'd have a chance, but the other day, Corey Grant runs behind his pads well, and then, Trey's that guy that he knows how to find a crease and get low and get through there. So all 3 of those guys will take reps throughout spring, and then at that point, hopefully we can evaluate maybe who he thinks best.
Does Jay Prosh figure in that at all?
Do what?
Does Jay Prosh figure in that?
He might. Right now, we've got him in a position, we want him to get really good at that position. That stuff maybe in the fall, you start looking at maybe moving some guys around. Right now, we want him to get comfortable, and he's doing a good job. You asked me earlier, he's been a guy that's been real consistent, Jay, as well. I think he's going to do real good for us at that spot.
Trey Mason, as tough as last season got, his confidence continued to swell late in the year. Is it still there where he's got that, hey, I got this type mentality?
I think so. I'm getting to learn Trey a little bit every day, just like all the rest of the guys. But I've seen that he's confident in a good way. We haven't done a lot other than one scrimmage, so it's hard to tell till you get a lot more reps under your belt. But I haven't seen anything that would lead me to believe he's not.
There was a report Wednesday alleging some NCAA violations during a period of time that you were here. What was your reaction to that, and how much did that surprise you?
Our administration's handling that. My job's to coach football, so that's all I'm really worried about. So we had practice this morning. We got big-time coaches clinic going on. I'm getting ready for that. That's all I can deal with.
Rhett, do you anticipate having a 1-2 at quarterback before the spring or by the spring?
I don't know, and I mean that. I really don't. If some guy emerges, I don't at this point see a scenario where we say, here's a starter. I don't see that.
Right.
I think they both are doing things well. I think they both got a lot of things to improve on. Right now, I mean, it's there's not a lot of separation, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. I want those guys just to keep competing. At the end of spring, we'll see where we're at and go from there. But we've been in this situation before. We're in no hurry. We're going to get the right guy that's going to help our team. And no matter what, whoever that is, the next guy's got to be ready too, because y'all know how it is. You're one play away. You hear that said a lot as coaches speak, but it's real. You're one play away, and that next guy's got to be just as good. And I think that's a good problem to have when you feel like guys are close, but there's not going to be a big drop-off from your first guy to your next guy. But we're not ready for that.
Can you talk about the difference in what Jay's playing, Jay Price is playing, and the tight ends or guys like tight ends are playing?
Yeah, you know, Jay's really more that H-back, off the ball. What most, you know, he's built like a pro I fullback. And for what we do, we have a downhill run game. It's just out of the shotgun. It's real similar. And so he's real physical off the ball. He's not a big, tall, long guy. He's stocky. But he's not a real long guy that's going to put his hand down and play tight end. That, you know, say you've got a guy like CJ or Ricky Parks or Brandon Foltz. Those are bigger guys who can also put their hand down too, as well as play off the ball. But Jay, he can kind of specialize in that spot. And that's good to have, because in what we do in the run game, that is a dirty work spot, I guess you could say. That guy didn't get a lot of glory. But usually our run game, if it's successful, has a lot to do with that spot right there. We had 2 guys last year that were really good at it, and we were pretty successful.
Anything else?
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it.